Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Always so exciting to have her on with us. And she is somebody that can communicate with animals in person, in spirit. It's just amazing. Ani, Animal Intuitive. Ani is back with us. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Busy, good, happy.
Awesome. I hope your holidays were good. I'm thinking that that your animals got some really special gifts, right?
I kind of am more of a around the year kind of gifts, not just for Christmas. So
I got you. Yep. I'm the same exact way, but I always cave in. It's like usually a little bit more. Talking about gifts, holiday special still going on. 45-minute session with Ani, Animal Communicator, $37 off. If you want to get that deal, go to Ani, A-N-I, animalintuitive.com. There's a green banner at the top of the page. You click that, and that gets you all hooked up. Limited space, by the way, only until December 31st of this year. So book that thing now. Why would you want to? Well, we'll give you an example of that in a little while when we do a reading live on air. And I'm just going to add to this. Ani has never even talked to this person that we're going to connect with their animal and communicate. It should be exciting. In the meantime, we haven't talked about you, Ani, and your gift of communicating with animals. How long have you been able to do this? I've always wondered about that.
So easiest way to answer it is I've always had a gift. And the first time I ever communicated with an animal, I did tell you this part. First time I ever communicated with an animal, I was about 2.5, 3. And I didn't realize I just thought that, it was my friend. Mm-hmm. It was this dog. And I found out later on that nobody else could see him because he was in spirit.
Wow. No. At 2, were you able to realize what was going on?
No. And my family just thought that he was, my imaginary friend dog kind of thing. And then later on, then they realized other things that were happening to me. I didn't know because it wasn't really talked about. Like my mom was extremely supportive, but it was kind of like I was so different than the rest of my family. In that I didn't know until I was older that my grandmother also had a gift, but it wasn't like, it was kind of like a joke, like the family joke, like, oh, your grandmother knows things before they happen and ha ha ha, like she could be a detective. Don't try and pull anything over her kind of thing. My mom's mom.
But what's interesting is lots of kids have the imaginary friend. And, right. And that's, right. I guess everybody just kind of wrote it off that way when you were communicating or picking up signals that, yep, she's talking to her friend again. It's all good.
Right. And then other things started happening. Like I was super sensitive. Didn't know I was an empath. I didn't know that sometimes I would feel things. A lot of the times I would feel things that weren't mine. Like, oh my gosh, like my back is really hurting me. It wasn't my pain. It was somebody else's pain.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I'm so tired because I've been in a crowd all day and I didn't understand how to shield myself, what I needed to do to ground and all these things that I didn't know about. I was afraid to go to bed at night because I was feeling spirits and things like that.
Wow. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah, definitely.
How about you doing it professionally? When did that come about?
Oh, well, so what happened this was not something that I was like, oh, I want to do this professionally. Because when I was a child, I didn't tell people about it. Even when I was in my 20s, I just didn't tell people about it. Not until I trusted you or I felt like people would be like, oh, well, what do you see? And then people would be like, oh, well, what do you see? Or what are you picking up? Or, and it's kind of like, nope, that's the reason why I don't tell you, kind of thing, Um, as like I didn't realize that I could shield myself and I didn't have to, people wouldn't have to like drain my energy. So
Were
I
you
did
afraid? Were you afraid at that time, Ani, to really say that, hey, I can do this? And
definitely
yeah, okay.
big time, big time, big time. And so it's been definitely a transition, evolutionary period. I mean, I'm in my early 40s now. So it's kind of like it wasn't like, something I mean, I went to the university and graduated from the university with something completely different that I did. So it wasn't like I wanted to help people, but it was something completely different. I went to the university for recreational therapy. So um so I didn't that was not something I was going to do. And then when I first got out of high school, I went to cosmetology school and I did hair for a while.
Wow. What a
So,
difference. What a
right.
difference. Mm.
Because I really didn't know. I wanted to get away from this. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like, I don't want to be teased anymore. I don't want people to look at me strange. So I, I, I had to move away from it. And then when I got older and I realized that the world has changed. And when you get older, you change too. And it's kind of like, okay, well, hey. So the first time I did this professionally, I would say maybe 2010, first time.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
was it easy? Like when you think about it or when you do it, when you communicate, Ani, does it come easy or do you have to like really focus, really concentrate?
Now, yes.
Okay.
The biggest thing is that when I wasn't confident in myself and I felt like I was being judged, it was definitely, I would second guess. The biggest thing is you don't second guess yourself. You just don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like it's not done. That's the first secret that I could tell anyone is, anybody can learn this. Yes, they can. Um, and the whole thing is you have to know what you are. What is your way of sending and receiving messages, and not second guess yourself ever.
Yeah. And I've worked with psychics that connect with those on the other side and they kind of say the same exact thing. And in the beginning, I've seen their progression from the beginning, some of them, and they're notable in the world. And exactly what you're saying, where it was a lack of confidence in the beginning. And then once you feel like, wait a minute, I got it, I'm accurate, it gets a little bit easier. But there's,
Yeah.
and you get a tougher exterior because there's always going to be skeptics out there.
And here's my thing that I would like to tell a skeptic. Everyone has experienced something. For instance, you think of somebody and the phone rings, or you feel creeped out by that person that's all the way across the room that you don't know, but you're feeling like their energy, or you're feeling like their eyes on you. You turn around, they're looking at you. So sorry, but this is, when people say that to me, it's kind of like, you might be a skeptic, but then you're not trusting your own intuition.
It's so true. If you don't have the confidence, it's just not, I don't think it's going to work in the same exact way.
It won't.
Yeah.
And I've had people that are like, I say, well, that's okay. If you don't believe, or you don't want, or it makes you, a lot of people too, it makes them feel uneasy or uncomfortable, or they're scared. And that's where they're at. And that's okay too. That's really okay.
Does this run in your family?
So yes. So my, not that my grandmother was a animal intuitive. My grandmother did know things before they were going to happen. And it was like a joke. Like you can never pull it off. You can never pull the wool over the eyes of my grandmother. Like you couldn't. she would just know.
Like, was it legit? Did you feel that what she had was something, or it was just kind of one of those, oh, she's at it again?
No, for sure. There was one time, I'll never forget, she would walk into a room and there was a friend of the family's masseuse there. That she'd come over to the house and she was leaving. And my grandmother grabbed her hands and she said, "Oh, congratulations on your new baby." And the woman, her eyes just got really big and she was like, "How do you know?" She goes, "I know." Nobody knew except for this woman that morning she found out.
Wow.
So things like that would happen. Like she would go into a room and she would say things like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not even, or you changed that, or this light bulb is not the exact same, and it was changed at this period of time, and like I know that's something," and nobody knew but her.
I have no words for something like that, because now it's in your family. Somebody you know is doing it. Did you question her from time to time?
No.
Okay.
No. But she didn't ever do it for a living. Nobody ever paid her professionally. It wasn't like that. It was just kind of like, oh, well, she's very intuitive. Like people would say, "Oh, she's very intuitive," or her friends would joke and would say, because I'm from a Hispanic family, so they would joke and say, "Oh, la bruja blanca," the white witch, and it was a joke. Yeah.
Do you, when you go outside, or, well, let's say you're just in the public and there's an animal, somebody's walking a dog, do you vibe that dog sometimes just for the heck of it to see what's on that dog's mind?
Yes, I do. I do.
And have you ever said something to somebody? Let's say the dog sent a message and said, I don't like the bandana they have on my neck, or whatever. Have you? Would you ever just throw a little mention to somebody? Just, hey, by the way, you might want to rethink something. Their person, to say something to the dog's person.
So I feel their person's energy out first. Okay. And if I feel that person is open, then I'll say something like, and then I tell them, I'm an animal communicator and you don't have to believe me, but this is what I'm getting. And their eyes will get really big, or how'd you know that? Or, wow, okay. Yeah.
Interesting. I'd like we're going to take a break because we're going to do a reading in just a few minutes. I want to make sure we have enough time. We still have a lot more to talk about in terms of you and what you do. And if anybody wants to connect, Ani, animalintuitive.com, ANI, Ani, animalintuitive.com. We're doing a reading next. Hang on.
Hi, I'm Randy, and this is Dave.
We're the founders of Bombas, the most comfortable socks in the history of feet.
So comfortable, we sold and donated millions of pairs.
To sell and donate a lot of socks, we became obsessed with comfort.
We reinvented the sock from the ground up, adding comfort innovations along the way.
It worked. People tried them, loved them, told their friends about them,
helping us sell and donate millions of pairs.
Try them now at bombas.com/comfy and get 20% off your first order. That's bombas.com/comfy.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Ani, Animal Intuitive. Experienced in bridging the communication between you and your animal friend, providing energy therapy for your animals who are ill or traumatized. Go to AniAnimalIntuitive.com. That's ANI animalintuitive.com.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with Ani, ANI, animalintuitive.com. Ani is an animal communicator, and we're going to do a reading. Ani, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I am going to, bring in here. Her name is Kat. Welcome, Kat. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. And we're going to communicate with your dog. What we've done is send a picture of your dog to Ani. And what's your dog's name?
Kay.
Kay. Okay.
Kay.
Ani,
Okay.
You can hear her, right?
Hi, yes. So,
Hi, how are you?
Hi. So I know that we don't have a lot of time. So I can kind of gear her towards what we're talking about, what you want to know about. Is this behavioral? Is she in body? Like yes, no kind of stuff.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
So basically what she's asking is, do you have any questions about Kay?
Like a focus. What is the focus? Is it behavioral? Is it health? Is she
whatever you can tell me.
Okay. All right.
I have no questions.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So then let me just connect real quick. Okay. So the first thing that I get from her is it's kind of like she's smart, but she can also be goofy. Kind of like I'm getting like a klutzy kind of vibe from her.
Does that sound right?
She's dopey.
Yeah, there we go.
She can be dopey.
Okay. So she's so cute. She says, "Well, somebody's got to make mom laugh." I get for the most part, she's a good girl. Okay, I mean, yeah. She's been mischievous sometimes. She admits to that sometimes. She says, "I think I'm getting better, though," she says.
She's my good girl.
Yeah.
The boys not so much.
Okay, so wait, I'm curious here. So you have how many dogs?
5.
5.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. So let's see what she says about them. I get that she's pretty easygoing, and she's telling me, she goes, I just whatever, sometimes they're annoying. And I just like to put my head down and just kind of like pretend I'm asleep so they'll leave me alone.
Yeah, she does. She just gets up and walks away.
Okay. I get one. She's telling me one of them really has a lot of energy, and she's like, he's just too much. I really have to ignore him. It's one in particular I'm getting. That's like the worst that she says.
There's 2 of them.
There's one.
I have a puppy.
Aha!
I have a puppy who has like a ridiculous amount of energy. She will
the one.
get the zoomies.
Yes, that's the one she's talking about. Is the one with the ridiculous amount of energy.
She'll just run around the house like a mad girl.
She basically is telling me I don't have time for these shenanigans. That's what she basically told me.
That's my word.
Oh, okay. Well, we're learning from Mama. Okay.
The shenanigans.
That is so funny. She's like, look, I have to walk away, roll my eyes, and just, sometimes she says she even daydreams that he's not there.
Yeah. She just she goes and she hides. She's like, I'm out of here.
Wow.
Well, good luck with him. And
I'm curious. Now you have 5 dogs. Do you have any cats?
No, I have no cats.
But
My daughter's lobbying for a cat
and,
in the worst way.
and I think the best part, Ani, here is her name is Cat, but she doesn't have any cats, only dogs.
And I run an animal rescue.
Well, look at that.
Okay, well, definitely. If you have any questions in the future, for sure, because I love to help animal rescues for sure. You all are awesome. You all are, you're my heroes. You guys are great.
Thank you so much.
So please reach out to me again whenever you feel you need. I would love to communicate with your other babies too.
That would be fantastic.
Yes. So definitely go to my website, or you can find out information here actually on their website about me too.
Okay.
And it's just been lovely, and Happy New Year. Keep your babies safe, and you stay safe too.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Kat. Happy New Year.
It was nice speaking to you.
And thanks for checking in. We appreciate it, okay?
Yes,
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy New Year. Well, that was kind of cool.
That dog is a trip. She can't be bothered. That was like her whole energy. It was like, she can't be bothered. Like, I don't have time for this.
And just looking at the picture, how would you describe that dog? I'm horrible with breeds and everything like that. We probably should have asked her, but what do you think?
I definitely am getting that from what I'm seeing. Like, I see that she's kind of like part, I would say, Great Dane.
Yep.
And for sure, Great Dane. But I can't tell the rest of her. She seems like she's a mix. Even that head sort of kind of looks big. Like if it wasn't for the color, because I'm thrown off with the color because of the kind of tiger stripes. If it wasn't for the color, I would say she's even part Rottweiler because of the head.
Yeah.
Big head.
And definitely unique colors. Brown, but sort of very light, dark tigery stripes, shall I say? It's
Yes.
kind of interesting on a dog. But yeah, super cool stuff. So talking about you and your ability, are you more than just an animal communicator?
Yes, I am. So I'm not just an animal communicator. I also am an animal medical intuitive. And I also have in energy chakra balancing. I'm certified in 2 modalities with that. And I also do crystal, I use the crystal balancing. I do sound therapy when I do those techniques. And the other big thing is I'm one of the few people that does angelic soul retrieval, because it's different than shamanic soul retrieval for animals. And that's specifically, we've talked about it before, for animals that have had some type of trauma.
I love that. And there just illustrates why what you do is so important, and people should take advantage of it, seek you out, because you do a rescue. You don't know the background of that animal. So you could be having some challenges, and the answers could be right there. Could be some health issues going on that you might not even know about. And I've heard you say before, Ani, that you've had animals actually say, hey, whatever med you got me on, it's not working. Change it up. And
Correct.
Your vet's not going to give you that information. And
Yes.
of course, there's a place for your veterinarian. Very important. It's not like you replace that role, but it could be something that causes you to question it and go to your vet and say, hey, you know what? Are we sure this medication is working for my animal? Really important stuff. You're on social media too. You're always doing videos, and there's lots of info out there, right?
Yes, a lot. So I'm on TikTok. I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I provide almost like tips and info and all that 4 to sometimes now 5 times in a week. And also I have some like surprises and different new things that are going to be coming out in the new year.
Keep on keeping on. Keep doing what you're doing. And by the way, Ani, I just got a message back from Kat, who you just did the reading for. She says, that was incredibly accurate. And then she wrote, very cool, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Kat, I have to say it was a pleasure and an honor to be able to speak with your babies. She's a trip and a half, that dog. And the other ones are, wow. Let's just say she doesn't have a lot of, she stays on her toes there. They keep her on her toes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super cool. Don't forget the holiday special, 45 minutes, $37 off. You go to Ani, A-N-I, animalintuitive.com, green banner at the top of the page. It is limited space and limited time offer because it only goes until the end of the year, obviously December 31st. So book it now and connect. And again, even with animals that are in spirit, no longer here, you can do that as well and make that connection.
But I did want to share with you all that next year, one of the biggest changes that's going to be happening is if you are a new person coming to me, it will be a 60-minute or the 90-minute for multiple animals. The 30-minute now is only until the 31st, the 30-minute animal communication, or for repeating clients in a checkup.
Okay, so making sure I have that clear. If it is starting in the new year, it's going to be 60-minute sessions and not 30. Is that right?
Right. So there'll be, for new people, 60-minute sessions or 90 minutes for multiple. That's for people that have either a lot of animals or it's going to be, I'm going to also be offering packages and things like that for the 90 minutes.
Gotcha. But repeat clients, it can be a 30-minute session.
Yes, correct. But they would have to reach me for me to be able to send them the special link.
Got it. All right, Ani, always great having you on. Just fascinating, and especially with the reading today. And to you and your family and your animals, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year, Steve.
We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.